Hello, Sea of Thieves. I'm sure you've seen the news. The best update in at least the last couple years has just been announced.
So, we're going to be increasing the maximum field of view that we support from the current cap of 90 and extend that up to 110.
We are finally getting an increase to the FOV from 90 to 110. I wanted to make a quick video on this because this is something that I thought would never happen. I think a lot of people thought was never going to happen. And maybe this is the start of some changes coming that could be good for Sea of Thieves. Now, if you've been playing the game for any amount of time, I'm sure you've seen people wanting the FOV increased. This has been probably the most asked thing, or one of the most asked things since the game came out. People wanted an option to have a higher FOV. So for about 7 years, people have been asking for it, and it's only just happened. The reason that I think this is such a big deal is because for the past 7 years when people have been asking for this, the only response that's ever been given out is that it's not happening. I remember hearing that it was because the game couldn't handle over 90 FOV. It was made for 90, and then going above that would break it or break the visuals somehow. There was also people saying that they didn't want to increase it because they don't want to make it look like a shooter. You know, it has to look like a adventure game, and there's no reason to go higher than 90. And their stance was always that it's never going to be changed, and for 7 years it wasn't. I don't think anyone would have predicted that it was going to end up getting changed, because it was so set for a long time that it just wasn't changing. And I mean, even back when the Steam version came out in 2020, I think it was, and everyone started being able to exploit the FOV exploit. I'm sure you've seen. I don't know if I might not show any clips of it because I don't know. You know, that was a big thing. You couldn't even show clips of it. You couldn't do it, or it was bannable. People were getting banned for increasing their FOV. And, you know, there was people doing crazy stuff where they would pretty much have a 360 view and could see the whole map. But even people who were just increasing it to like 100 or 110 were getting banned for it. And that was something that Sea of Thieves really didn't like. And, you know, and then now they just come around and say, well, actually, we are just changing it. I'm not sure why this wasn't done back then. I don't know what changed with Sea of Thieves to make them decide to do this now. It's a bit late, in my opinion. I think this should have been done, I think, as soon as they saw people were modding or exploiting to have a high FOV. You know, I think they could have thought about it then maybe and thought, why are people doing this? Maybe we should just increase it. Like, this is better than any of the updates we've had, you know, the Burning Blade or the crouching and the blow darts and all. Like, just having a higher FOV is immediately better than all of those things. I just think it's a pretty big deal that they have gone back on what their original stance was with FOV and sort of realized that everyone wants it changed, and then they have now announced that they're going to be changing it. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe there's had some changes happen in the development of Sea of Thieves, and they're sort of taking a different look at stuff now. You know, instead of just going, nah, we don't want higher than 90 and then banning people that go higher than 90 and completely trying to stop it from happening. They've started looking at maybe if that's what people want, they should do it. So if they are kind of starting to take a different look at the game and maybe more considering what people want rather than just the roadmap that they've got set out for the game, we could start seeing some other changes that previously were, you know, things that weren't going to happen. Just like the FOV, they've been saying for years that we can't get more ships on a server, or we can't expand the map anymore, stuff like that, where that's been their stance and that's been what they're saying. But now we've got the FOV change that was previously said would never happen or can't happen. So maybe there will be other changes like that coming that were previously not even on the table. And I think that sort of changing how they've been updating it and developing it is a good idea, because, I mean, just the normal stuff that they're doing with the updates and the different seasons, it's not amazing. I mean, it's still good stuff and it's new content getting added, like the Burning Blade and all that, but it obviously isn't crazy. You know, I haven't really heard an update that they've done in a long time that people have just been happy about, or that has actually caused a lot of people to get back into the game. You know, that's something that just hasn't really happened. So yeah, I think it's just good if they are now looking at stuff that maybe was previously not even on the table and they had just tossed to the side and said, nah, we're not even thinking about that. That's just not going to happen. And maybe now they are considering those things. And I think that's a really good idea for the game at this point, and I think that's something that a lot of people would probably agree with. Like, I remember when the Horn of Fair Winds came out ages ago now, that was a while. And, you know, I saw the trailer for it and it looked like a cool thing. You can push people off their boats, you can catch people up, you know, it was going to be good for chasing people. You can put out fires with it. It looked like a cool item. And then the update came out and they were so rare, I don't even think I saw one for like months. And then when I did see one, I just went and sold it. Like, I didn't even use it. I think with an update like that, why don't they just go, you know, there's this new item. When you spawn at an outpost, there's going to be one on the table in front of you. Or, you know, they're going to wash up on every beach, or every skeleton ship's going to drop one, and they're going to be in every fort. Just so then people start using the new stuff, and then a few months later they can update it and change the rarity to actually how they wanted it. Like, there's a lot less people playing now than there was at launch. The game isn't dead. I don't think it's anywhere near dead. But there is a lot less people, and maybe then you start going, well, the updates don't have to be perfectly balanced when they come out. Let's make some stuff overpowered. Let's get people on the game and using the new stuff, and then we can balance it out slowly, you know, over the season. Like, why put out the Horn of Fair Winds and have it really rare, and it's, you know, so rare that by the time you get it, you just want to sell it. You don't even want to use it. Or getting even crazier, why not do something like, on weekends, there's no world events, but then that frees up room to put 10 ships on a server or 20 ships on a server. Just trying out new stuff like that, I think, is probably a good idea. And I know all that's happened so far is just the FOV change, but maybe this is the start of some different thinking and some new changes. They also announced in this same update that they were changing the Hourglass region stuff. I think that sounds really good as well. Being able to start looking at other regions when you're searching for an Hourglass match. I think that's a great idea as well. So while I'm sure that this update isn't going to just bring people back to the game and revive it, but I think this is definitely a good step in the right direction, and I think it could do with some different ideas, because just here's a new season with the new content and everyone will play it for a week and then barely anyone's going to touch it anymore. But yeah, I wanted to make a video on this, and I also wanted to hear what you guys are thinking of this update. I assume that everyone's going to like it. I really don't think there's any reason to not like this update. I mean, if for some reason you really want to play on 90, you still can. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like a slider. I don't think they're just changing it to 110. I almost am certain that's not what's happening. I think it's going to be a slider. Most people are going to play on 110, and then if you want to still play on 90, I'm sure you can. So yeah, that's all I've got to say. Although, here's a little secret if you're still watching this video. I'm going to drag it out until it hits 8 minutes, because when it hits 8 minutes, you get about double the ad revenue. So I have to make this hit 8 minutes, and I could have filled it up with a bunch of random stuff. I could have shown more clips of the video. I could have like dissected everything they said. I didn't. I'm just adding this bit at the end to get it to 8 minutes. I'll see you guys around.